Hi guys, if you are viewing my channel first time, please subscribe to my channel for more updates on embedded systems. Today we are mainly discussing about on 8051 assembly language programming. Okay, first one about the move instruction. Move destination comma source. Source always right side and destination always left side. The instruction tells the CPU to move. In reality, copy the source operand to the destination operand. Okay, here the move a comma hash 55h. It is a immediate value that I am copying to the A register. Move R0 comma A. The content of A is 55h. I am just copying to the R0 register. Next, move R1 comma A. Content of A 55h. I am copying to the R1 register. Move R2 comma A hash 55h. The it contains 55h. The whatever the content of a 55h, I'm moving to the R2 register. Next, move R3 comma hash 95h. This 95h immediate data I'm moving to the R3 register. Next, move a comma R3. This R3 contains 95h that I am just copying to the A register. This is the mainly we need to understand about the move instruction. Next, continuation to the move instruction. Notes on programming. The value preceded with hash can be loaded directly to the register A, B, or 0 to R7. For example, here move A comma hash 23 means this is the immediate value that I am just copying to the A register. Next, move R5 comma 0F9H. For example, if it is a letter, we should always add 0 in front, otherwise we'll get the compilation error. Okay, for example, to indicate to the assembler it is a not a letter, to indicate it is a hex value, that's why we need to add 0, otherwise we'll get the compilation error. If the value 0 to F moving to the 8-bit register, the rest of bits assumed all are zeros. For example, here I am moving move a comma hash 5. Okay, here the higher nibble, uh, okay, sorry, here the lower nibble I am just copying 0101, but the higher nibble I am just replacing with zeros. The result will be A05. Okay, here in the binary I am representing four zeros. This is my higher nibble, always zeros. Why? Because initially our accumulator will be reset to 0, all are zeros. Here I am just loading with 5 means only lower nibble will be copied from this 5 content 0101, but the higher nibble will be always zeros. Moving a value that too large into a register will cause an error. For example, here move a comma has 7f2h. Okay, it is a more than ff. That's why here we'll get the compilation error. Okay, which should load up to 002 ffh. Okay, within this 255 we have to load to the 8-bit register. Okay, next we'll understand about the add-in section. Okay, for example, here move a comma source. Source can be a immediate data or a register, but the destination always a register. For example, here I am using add r4 comma a or add r2 comma hash 12h. These are the invalid. Okay, always destination should be always register, always a register, but the source can be a immediate data or a register. Okay, we'll discuss here more on addition. Move a comma hash 25h. Move r2 comma 34h. Here I am just copying the 25 to a register and 34 to R2 register. Here I am just using the add instruction, add a comma R2. Here the always the source can be a register or a immediate data. Okay, here the R2 content is 34h and A content is 25h. Here I am going to add these two contents, and finally result will be saved to the A register. If you see this equation, A equal to A plus R2, what is the content of A is 25 plus 34. The final result will be stored to A register. This is the add instruction we need to understand more. And here move A comma 25h and add A comma has 34h. Here it will add the 25 plus 34h. Finally, the result will be stored to A register. Okay, here the mainly we need to understand the destination register always accumulator. The source can be a immediate data or any other register. Okay, next we'll understand structure of assembly language. Here the structure of assembly language, we need to write our assembly language this format. First one is the label. Okay, here if you see label here colon s jump here. If I want to jump s jump here to here, so that we can use this label. Next one is the mnemonic. Okay, here move add, these are the mnemonics. Next, operands. It can be source or destinations are the operands. Next, finally the comment. Okay, this is the way we need to write our each and every instruction in our assembly. Okay, first one we'll understand the each and every instruction here. org0h means, okay, here in our program memory 00h I am planning to store the this complete program from the 00h. That's why I'm just giving the origin 0h means I am trying to store my program from the 0h location onwards. Move R5 comma hash 25h, move R7 comma hash 34h, move a comma hash 0. Next, here I am just adding the content of a plus R5. Okay, 25 here I have accumulator has 0, 0 plus 25 I am adding. Final result will be saved, stored to accumulator. Okay, here the 25 value. Okay, add next 25 a comma R7. R7 has 34. I'm just adding the 25 plus 34. I will get the final result here. And add a comma hash 12h. This 25 plus 34 plus 12h. The final result will be saved to a register. Okay, just this is the some instructions I wrote. Okay, here jump to here. Okay, just I am jumping to here. This is a finally end instruction. Okay, for example, from here to here only we have the code memory, and after that here this is my end of my program. Here origin and end are the directive to the assembler to indicate whether is the program starting and ending. This I am just indicating to the assembler. This is the starting point, this is the ending point. Okay, these are the mnemonics. It will produces the opcode that will discuss on the more about the opcodes next slides. Okay, here these are the directives as we discussed, origin and end. Okay, this is the label. If I want to jump from one location to another locations, we can use these labels. Okay, these are the comment hash comma hash. Here I'm just representing with colon. Okay, colon. After that we are writing. These are the comments. Okay, this is the way we need to write our any assembly language first with origin and end. In between that we can write all our programming. Okay, here this is the structure of this is the steps to create a program. For example, if I want to flash a code to the ROM memory, so that we need to follow these many steps. Okay, here editor program. For example, if I am just written this program, this can be saved as .asm. Okay, that .asm I am giving to the assembler. Assembler it will generate two files, .list files and object files as well. Okay, here the list files it will show the any errors or something it will show in the list file. For example, if I got any error, then I will go back to the editor and I will change the again code, then I will give to the assembler. Okay, there is no errors, then the object file will be generated. Okay, this object files I am giving to the linker. Okay, we may get some other object files also, like math.h will get the some other object files. Okay, here I am just linking all the object files and I am getting the absolute file from the linker. Okay, it will just arrange our all object files in a one structured way, then finally we'll get the absolute file. Okay, this absolute file I need to convert to the hex. Here I am using the oh converter. Okay, absolute to hex converter. Okay, that this hex value we are this hex code we are storing to the finally to our program memory, ROM memory. Okay, then we'll understand more in the next instruction. Here the list file. Okay, list files mainly. Okay, list which is the optional is very useful to the programmer. It lists all the opcodes and addresses as well as the errors that assembler detected. Okay, for example, if I am writing the incorrect instruction at the for example line 5. Okay, in the list file it will show, okay, you have the error at the line number 5. Okay, the mainly use of the list file it will show the errors, and also in case of debugging also it will mainly helpful this mainly list file. Okay, here the mainly whatever the code we written here, right, the similar code it will store in the list file as like here. Okay, in the list file it will show the address. First column is the address, the next column is the opcodes, the next one is our program. Okay, here is the origin 00h. This is my program ROM memory. 00h means my program storing. I am starting from 0. Just I am directed to my assembler. I am trying to store my code from the 00h. Next, move R5 comma hash 25h. Okay, it is converting to the opcodes. Assembler it will convert the whatever the assembly instruction to the opcode. This is a 7D is my move R5 means 70. It will convert to the opcode to 70. This 25 is my second byte. 25 will be loaded to this R7. Okay, R5. Okay, see here, four zeros means four zeros. Okay, 70 I am storing into the first locations, and the second location I am storing this 25 value. Why? Because in each memory location we can store only the 8 bit in each location. That way this 70 will be the first location and 01 is the second location. Okay, next after that, this 25 is stored in the second location. Then third location, 02 means third location. Here I am storing the 7F. Move R7, nothing but 7F is my opcode. This 35 value I am storing in the next instruction. 03 also over. Next 04 means I am storing 7400. Next 2D, 2F, 2412 and 80EF. FE. Okay, here I am just storing the what is the content of the opcodes here to the directly to the program memory. Okay, first we are writing to the writing assembly language. From this assembly language, it will be converted to the opcodes. Once there is no errors, then we will get the opcodes. These opcodes will be stored to our final to our program memory. Okay, this is the mainly we need to understand about the list file. Okay, it will mainly useful for the list file. It will show the errors and we'll try to modify those errors, and whenever there is no errors, then it will produce the object files. Okay, it will the linker stage, it will combine all the object files, then finally we'll get the object files. This object file we are going to convert to the hex file. This hex code will be flashed to our program memory. Okay, this instruction will be executed by one by the CPU. Okay, next we'll understand about the directives. First one is the defined byte. Okay, if I want to define any particular byte, it might be a decimal or binary or hex. We can use this DB. Okay, define a byte. Okay, it can be defined a byte. We can use to store the strings of the digits or strings of the letters. Also, we can store by using this defined byte. Okay, mainly to understand, this is the directives for the assembler. Okay, we can define any byte by using this defined byte. Okay, next we'll understand more about the origin and end. Okay, this origin already we discussed. If I want to tell to the compiler, tell to the assembler, I want to store the code from the zero, so that I can give the origin 0h. For example, if I want to store my code from the 06 location, so that I can give 6h. Okay, here the mainly, if I want to give the particular location to store our program, so that I can use this directive. Next, end. If I want to show to our assembler my program is ending here, so it will understand the assembler, it will understand, okay, program is ended here by using this directive. Okay, mainly use of this origin and direct end we are using to start the program and end the program of the assembly language. Okay, next we'll understand equate. For example, we have the so many count I have used in my program. For example, I want to replace in count with the my 25 value. For example, throughout the program, so that I can use this equation. Okay, count equate 25. Here this 25 I am just storing to the count register. For example, here as count I have used in my complete program 10 times. Okay, this 10 times, if I am just changing the value to the 10, this 10 times will be replaced throughout the program. That is the mainly use of this directive equate. Okay, next we'll understand, already we discussed in the architecture about the PSW. Just we'll discuss just outlines here. This is a parity flag. For example, after the addition, after the ALU operations, if my accumulator result is number of ones is odd, then we are going to add one more one here. For example, if the number of ones are even, then our parity is 0. Here the overflow flag. Here the mainly, if the carry from the 6th bit to 7th bit, then this overflow flag will be set to 1. Here the register selection 0 and register selection 1, mainly to select particular register bank in our RAM memory, we are using these two flags. This is mainly for the future flag. This is the auxiliary carry. If the carry from the D3 to D4, then this bit will be set. Carry. If the carry from the 7th bit to the this carry will be stored. If the more than 8 bit, if we got the carry, this 7 bit will be we are storing it. For example, what and all the instruction, these many flags get affected. For example, in case of addition, carry overflow flag auxiliary carry will be affected, and they add with carry also. these three flags are affected. Sub with borrow also three flags are affected. In case of multiplication and division, only overflow flag might be affected. Next, decimal adjust instruction, only the carry may affect. Okay, here the set bit carry. Okay, here I'm just setting my carry to 1. Clear bit carry, I'm just clearing my carry to 0. And here the complement, if it is 0, I'm just complementing to 1. If it is 1, I'm complementing it 0. In case of and logic or logic, we are using this carry also. It may affect carry also. Directly in the final equation, here CJNE, compare jump if not equal, maybe it may affect the carry mainly. Okay, the carry in most of instruction may carry may affect. In case of multiplication and division, only the overflow flag, mainly this arithmetic operations only this overflow flag might affected. In addition and subtraction, this auxiliary carry will be affected. Okay, this is a mainly, these are the flags may get affected whenever these instructions are executing. Okay, okay, we'll understand, we'll take one example and we'll understand what all the flags are affected. Okay, here move a comma 38h, this immediate data I'm moving to the a register. Next, add this 38h plus 2fh, then finally that result will be stored to a register. This is a understand, we need to understand our instructions. Here just I am adding 38h plus 2fh. Finally, I got the 67h. Okay, these are the hexadecimal. Just I am representing to the binary here. Okay, 38 means 0011. This is my every digit I am representing with the 4 bits. And 8 means 1000. And 2 means 0010. And F means all ones. Okay, here I am just adding 0 plus 1, 1. 0 plus 1, 1. 0 plus 1, 1. 1 plus 1, 1, 0. Okay, here I got the carry from the bit 3 to bit 4. Then auxiliary carry will be set to 1. Okay, here I got the 1. Next, 1 plus 1, 1, 0. Okay, here 1 plus 1 plus and also carry plus 1. Okay, here 3 ones means 1, 1. Here I got the 1 and also here 1. Okay, the finally here 0 plus, here I got the carry from here, I got 1. Okay, here 1, finally 1. Okay, next finally 0, 0, 0. Okay, if I just done the addition, only the auxiliary carry affected and there is no carry affected here. Okay, here the finally parity will check. Here if you see the in accumulator register, it has only the 5 ones. It means if I want to make the even parity, then I need to add to the parity flag to the 1. Okay, only the auxiliary carry parity were affected, carry is 0 in this case. Okay, if I add this 38h and 2fh. Okay, we'll take another example, we'll see what and all the flags might affected. Okay, here I'm just move a comma 9ch, I'm moving 9ch to the a and add 9ch plus and 64h I'm just adding, I will get the 100 hex value. Okay, if I am just adding just representing here, 9 means 1001 and C means 1100 and here 6 means 0110 and 4 means 0100. Okay, just I represented in binary 0 plus 0 0, 0 plus 0 0, 1 plus 1 1 0. Here again I will get 1 0. Here I got the auxiliary carry also 1. Okay, here 1 plus 1 1. Again I got the carry here and remind here is the result is 0. And again 1 plus 1 1 0. Again 1 plus 1 1 0. 1 plus 1 1 0. Okay, finally I got the carry as well as auxiliary carry. Both are affected. Here number of ones are 0. That's why parity also 0. Okay, for example, if the number of ones are odd, then parity will be 1. Okay, next we'll understand the last example. Here move a comma 88h, add a comma 93h. Here just I'm adding the similar way, 0 plus 1 1, 0 plus 1, 0 plus 0 0, 1 plus 0 1, 0 plus 1 1, 0 plus 0 0, 0 plus 0 0, 1 plus 1 1 0. Okay, here only the carry was affected. There is no auxiliary carry, there is no parity. Here if you see the number of ones are even, 4 ones. Okay, that's why parity is 0. There is no auxiliary carry, there is no carry from the bit 3 to bit 4. That's why auxiliary carry is 0. Finally I got 1 plus 1 1 0. Okay, this carry will be stored in the carry flag in our PSW. Okay, if you take the any two edition, then we used to have the similar way and we'll check what and all the flags are affected. Okay, next we'll understand the our RAM memory. Okay, RAM has 00 to 7F. We have 128 bytes of RAM memory, and here the 00 to 1F. 00 to 1F is my register bank memory. Okay, each register bank contain R0 to R7. Okay, for example, if I want to select for example register bank 2, so that I need to set the register bank 2 means rs 1 bit I need to set to 1. This rs 0 bit initial will be all are zeros, that's why this rs 0 rs 1 all are zeros. Initially I am going to select register bank 0. If I want to select particular register bank, we need to set or reset the this rs 0 rs 1 flags in our psw. Okay, for example, initially we are going to select the register bank 0. For example, if I want to select the register bank 1, we need to set the rs1 flag in our psw, so that I can move to here, so that I can use these many registers. For example, initially we will use this r0 to r7. For example, if I want to use this r0 to r7, so that I need to move to the bank 1. For example, I want to use this r0 to r7, we need to use this bank 2. Okay, similar way we have 20 to 2f, we have bit or byte addressable, we can access bit level as well as byte level. Okay, here 30 to 7f is a scratch pad. Okay, and we have one more feature here, register bank 1, it has stack pointer also. For example, if I'm using this register bank 1 for my general purpose, so that this stack pointer I can move to the some other locations. Okay, we'll understand one by one with example in my next slides. Okay, here I'm just directly I'm writing the programming move r0 comma 99h. For example, initially I'm not moving to the any of the register bank. Initially my register bank 0. Directly here I'm just writing this program r0 comma 99h means directly this register will be accessed. Okay, I am directly moving to the R0 to with 99H and R1 with 85H. This R1 with 95H. Why? Because initially I am in register bank 0. And similar way, I am just writing 00 means this is the address. I am just moving to the 99 and move 01 comma hash 85. These are the both are equal. If I am accessing with the 00H location means this is R0 only, nothing but, and 01 location means R2 only. Okay, this and this are both are same. Here I am accessing through the register whatever the memory 00 memory. Here if you see 00 to 07, this is my first memory first register bank addressing. Next 08 to f my second bank addressing. 10 to 1f my second bank addressing. 18 to 1f is my third bank addressing. For example, if I want to access the R3 register directly 03 comma 20h, directly I can move this particular location with the address. Okay, this is the address. I am accessing the data, I am just copying the data through the address. This is the through the register. Okay, next one, last example here, set bit of psw zero point 0.4. Here point 0, point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4. Here I am setting this flag to 1. 1 0 means here the register bank 2, we need to refer here. Okay, if I want to go to the register bank 2, okay, here I am going to the register bank 2 here. Okay, if I am want to use these registers, so that I can shift to here. Okay, here we need to understand here move r0 comma 99h. Here I am just moving content to r0 with 99h. Directly we are accessing this one. Why? Because right now we are in register bank 2. I am using currently this register. Okay, that way we need to understand. Here move r1 comma 85h. Now this r1 will be used. Okay, here we can switch to the that respective bank, and we can use those registers. For example, if I want to use these registers, so that I can switch to this branch, switch to this bank, and we can use these many registers. Okay, next we'll understand push and pop operations here. Okay, here I am just moving the R6 with 25 and R1 with 12H and R4 with 0F3H. For example, if it is a letter, we need to add with 0. Okay, just I wrote this instructions. Just I am pushing one by one register to the stack memory. Okay, initially our stack pointer start with 07. If I am just pushing R6 to the stack pointer, then 25 will be saved to the first locations. Okay, my stack pointer incremented by 1, and after that we are storing the value. Okay, next after that, see here next I'm just pushing the r1 content, the 12h to here. Again increment by 1 I am storing, and again increment by 1 I am storing the f3. Okay, here mainly in case of pushing the some content to the stack, always it will increment by 1, and after that copy the content to the stack pointer. These are mainly we need to understand our stack pushing operations. Next we'll discuss on the pop operations. We have already filled our stack pointer. Here initially my stack pointer with 07. From the 08 it was filled completely up to 0b. For example, I want to retry from the stack I can use the pop 3. I'm retrying content from here so that I can decrement the stack pointer and we can retry from that. Okay, here I retrieved this data and it will be decremented by 1. Again I retrieved the second byte, then again it will be decremented by 1. Again the I'm just retrying the third content, a third byte, it will be decremented by 1. Okay, in case of popping operations the stack point will be decremented by 1. Here if you see 0b, 0a, 09, 08. In case of pushing, my stack pointer will be incremented by 1. Okay, based on our controllers, for example if it is 16-bit controllers, it might be increase the 2 bytes, stack pointer incremented by 2 bytes. But in case of 8-bit controller, only incremented by 1 or decremented by 1 by using this push and pop operations. For example, the last one we'll discuss here, if I am using this register bank 1 for the stack, for example for the general purpose one, for example this register bank 1, we have the two functionalities. I can use the stack pointer purpose or I can use for the general purpose this register bank 1. For example, if I want to use this register bank 1 for the general purpose, this stack pointer I can move to the top. Okay, similar way we'll do the same. Here I am just moving the stack pointer to 5fh. Here 30 means 5f means at least here. Okay, I am just moving the stack pointer to here so that this register bank 1 I can use for the this general purpose. This complete this R0 to R7 I can use for the general purpose. Okay, here set bit of PSW 0.3, 0, 1, 2, 3. Here I am setting this PSW 0.3 means RS1 is 1. That's why I am selecting the register bank 1. Okay, here I got selected the register bank 1. My stack pointer I have moved to the top. Okay, after that I am just using the R2, I am loading with 25, R1 I am loading with 12H, R4 I am loading with F3H. Okay, right now my stack pointer is 5f. If I am pushing some content to the stack pointer, it will be incremented by 1. Okay, pushing means increment, popping means will be decremented by 1. Here I incremented to 60, I am storing the first content 25. Again incremented to 61, storing the second content 12, and incremented to 1 and storing the third content. Okay, these are mainly for the push operation. For example, if we have the conflicts between the stack versus bank 1, so that I can move the stack pointer to above so that I can use for the general purpose that memory. Okay, this register bank I can use for the general purpose, the stack pointer I can move to the some other location. Okay, thank you friends, thank you for watching.